and he was moving this light around him. Yeah.
My whole life, everything about my life is a horror movie right now.
Yeah. This is like a horror movie. Yeah. You look like a 1950s greaser. You know him from the show Jets. He was Hood number 7.
Right.
Yeah, maybe I should do that. What am I thinking? We're both welcome to the Monster Podcast.
Yeah. What are the extras on Grease doing now with their lives? It's a reality show.
I know. And we're back. Hey, everybody. If it's your first time watching, thank you so much. This is Darren Carter, the party starter, the Pocket Party Podcast. Today, very special guest, Jason Andors.
What's up, bro?
What's up, man?
What's up, man?
I
really
love
good to hear from you.
Dude, likewise, man, and it's funny. We're not missing a beat. You know, there's a shorthand that comedians have, and you know, you and I are laughing and picking it up right from where we left off, and it's so funny, man. Like you've got your full head of hair, and you're in New York, and you look like you're straight out of like a 50s movie, man, or a 60s movie.
Right, without the money and without the movie contract, but and the hair came from Propecia. Like I'm on the pill basically.
Yeah.
I've been on the pill for I don't know where my hair. I think we would look at like twins right now if I wasn't using this pill.
I know.
So it's not genetic. If you saw my genetics in my family, you'd be like, how did he even come out that way? But I'm just saying it's a pill.
I'm also laughing because I told Jason, I go, do you have a light? Can you put the light? And he was moving this light around him. Yeah.
My whole life, everything about my life is a horror movie right now.
Yeah. This is like a horror movie. Yeah. You look like a 1950s greaser. You know him from the show Jets. He was Hood number 7.
Right.
Yeah, maybe I should do that. What am I thinking? We're both welcome to the Monster Podcast.
Yeah. What are the extras on Grease doing now with their lives? It's a reality show.
I know. Exactly. They're oh my gosh. And you're a great dancer, man. You know,
thanks, man. Maybe I'll make it as a dancer one day. I'm 40. Yeah. I don't want to say my age. I just stop at 40.
He's 40 something, you know. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, because you know, I would see your stand-up. You're able to incorporate the moves, and then we have a mutual friend who's doing really well right now, Adam Hunter. And I saw, I keep seeing whenever there's the anniversary of his wedding, they repost the wedding, and you guys are doing your dance-off thing, and I'm like, man, you just got that.
Yeah, I won that dance contest, by the way. Now I almost lost it because I was hiding out because I knew when the dance contest started, I knew Adam was looking for me. So I was kind of like hiding in an area because I didn't want to do it. So then he's like, no, you're doing this contest. So I came out and, you know, I did whatever I always do. I never practice. I have so many injuries, you know. So I popped. I did my routine. I told the DJ, I think Rapper's Delight was the song. Nice, slow hip-hop beat that I do the same moves I run in my act, you know, like I haven't practiced for like 20 years, but I have the same moves. And because I do it so often, like just that 1 minute, it looks like I practice every day. But if I had to go 2 rounds in a battle, I'd be done. So anyway, like I think his wife's niece or somebody, a little girl, like she really wanted to give the prize to her, and Adam's like, why? Just because she's like 6 years old? Like Jason danced better, like give him the prize. Adam did pretty good too. Adam did good too. I was pretty impressed.
That's cool. Hey, by the way, if anybody wants to check out any of your pop locking breakdancing moves, where would they find them? Where can we find them on the internet? I'm sure they're out there somewhere.
I guess if you just look up Jason Andors popping, I have video on me on YouTube when I was, I think, 12 years old, popping in my living room with my brother imitating me. He was like 6.
Wow.
So my cousin sent me that video a couple years ago. I'm so glad he has it.
That's adorable. And now you're like, no, I'm 40 something and I'm popping in my living room, but it's not what you think.
And doing the exact same moves I did when I was 12.
Only now your back is popping, your knees popping.
Yeah.
But
you still got those sound effects going.
Yeah. Yeah.
What was your biggest? See, the thing is, like, I've met you in '99.
Wow.
I taped my first comic view in '99, and it was your second comic view, is what I remember. I don't know if I'm wrong or right. Sound right?
Sounds right. Yeah. I did it about, how many times did I do it? 5, 6, 7 times, something like that. I don't know. And then they would re-splice it and, the best of, or guys who do impressions, or the white guys, or the
If you were a
whatever.
white guy that did well on that show, we got put in the best of constantly.
Yes. BET. Lots of love to BET, man. That was like,
that
wow,
was great exposure.
Great exposure, right? Like,
I think you might have been showed more than any white guy on that.
Gary Owen, I think,
Gary
was
Owen's number one. Gary Owen's number one, obviously. He hosted. He's the only white guy that really blew up from that circuit.
Yeah.
Like the only one that really got famous from doing the black rooms,
Yeah. The rest of us got to a certain level. It opened doors, but I don't know.
Like,
for me,
enough. You're getting your $100 spots every day.
Exactly.
You're not going any further than that. That's all we're giving you. But Gary broke that barrier.
Yeah.
I don't know what trick he did, but he broke that barrier. Even Honest John came close.
Yeah.
But no one broke it like Gary.
I think
Jim
you know what
Brewer
it is.
Was on Uptown. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I was just gonna say he just kept hammering that nail and hammering that nail and hammering that nail.
Is that all right?
Yeah, it's good. Yeah. You should just do the whole podcast like Dracula. He was the only one to break through. The rest of us white guys, we only got so far.
Are you Jewish?
I am not Jewish. I'm not Jewish. Are you Jewish?
Yeah.
God, you know what? I thought I was like, I thought you were Jewish, and then
you saw my social media.
Yeah, exactly.
And you realized that everything's Dominican.
Yeah. No, that's just
even the flag of my house.
This is, you guys. He is amazing. I was so happy to see that you have like a million fans. You speak another language, and I was like, wow, this guy multi-talented, man. And then yeah, did you learn that language, or how did this happen?
Do a lot of studying.
Yeah.
It started in 3rd grade. I had a crush on this girl, Arlene. She was Dominican. And she had an adult ass in the 3rd grade. I mean, it was already like bloomed and everything. So I was in love. I've always loved Latin.
That's a weird, that's a creepy sentence with the light underneath. She had a beautiful ass.
Every time I say something creepy, I should do one of these.
Yeah, exactly.
So let me redo that.
Yeah, okay.
So this girl, Arlene, she's a Dominican chick, and she had an adult ass in the 3rd grade.
But then again, you were 7 years old as well, so 8 or whatever. So
yeah, exactly. We're the same age. You know what I mean?
Hey, by the way, real quick, I have to say something to that point. My son, he's 13. I don't even know if you know how to son, but I have a son. My wife's Armenian. My son's half Armenian and half amazing. But he had a crush on this girl. He had a crush on a girl, and guess what? He started learning Hebrew. Hebrew.
Yeah. The things we do.
Yep.
For women, we do anything for women.
Absolutely.
And gay guys will do anything for men. Whatever. I'm just saying that's why men work. If there were no women or men for the gay guys, we wouldn't have jobs. We'd be in fetal position waiting to die in our bed. You know what I mean? I mean, that's what made me learn Spanish 100%, because all the Latinas in my growing up in the Upper West Side of Manhattan spoke English. So I didn't have to learn Spanish. Like, I hated doing schoolwork. I never did homework. I don't know how I made it to the 11th grade. That's when I dropped out. But then I got my GED, went back to college and dropped out again. But the point is that I never did my homework. And like, if my Spanish teacher was smart, like, he would have sat me down, when I was failing. I'd been like, Jason, do you want to grow up to be a pervert that flies 5 hours to a foreign country and you can't even pick up a woman because you don't know how to say cuánto cuesta? Huh? No? Then do your homework. Like, if you would have just told me, warned me about the future, that most of the beautiful Latinas in the world don't speak English. They're in these beautiful countries, So, oh no, there's the, oh my God. Now it's really dark now?
No, you're good. You're good.
Right?
What happened to the light?
Out.
Oh no.
Because I was stretching it. You want me to go put it back in?
Yeah, keep it on. This is funny. I love it.
Wait, let me go put the light back in. Hold on one sec. You could edit this part out, right?
I'm going to leave it in. Just leave it in.
Hey, we're getting crazy now. We're
getting crazy.
We're improvising, man.
Lights are going off. Dominican flag. Can you even hear me? I think that's a Dominican flag back there.
$7 light I bought at a flea market. All right.
Every episode's different, guys. Every episode's different.
So earpiece in. Get back in place. Put the light up, and I'll try not to be so excited with it.
Oh, I see the extensions behind you and you. I gotcha.
Yeah. So where was I? Oh,
so you were learning. Yeah.
My cousin lives in Dominican Republic. My cousin's a doctor here in the States. He works part-time and then lives out there like 8-9 months a year without working. So he'll come here like 2 weeks at a time, a month, altogether maybe 3 months, maybe 4. And then just lives there. He plays Dominican music, bachata, it's called. He's a guitarist, and he plays bachata with some of the biggest Dominican musicians in Dominican Republic. My cousin's not famous, but most of the famous musicians there know him. He plays with them, you know? And so in 2000, I think 5, he knew how much I love Latinas. So he's like, you got to come out here, man. It's a country full of them. It's like everywhere you go, you don't have to go to a specific neighborhood. You don't have to be excited when one happens to walk past your block. It's everywhere, you know? So I'm like, okay, I got to go out. So I go out and I had a really frustrating trip because we met these girls in Boca Chica, and, you know, like Jen Lopez look-alike, you know? And I don't know, I mean, how into me she was or how much she wanted something in exchange. I don't know what was going on. But the point is, my cousin had to translate everything for me that day. Like I couldn't speak. I said, hola, adios. I hardly knew any words. So he was translating for me all night. He got her phone number for me that night.
Hola, adios. Hi. Bye.
Yeah, and that was a 6-hour conversation.
Mi amor. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Hola, adios was a 6-hour conversation.
Oh, gosh.
Whatever happened in the middle of that 6 hours, you know, I have no idea. So he
By the way, look at this. I looked up Dominican women, and these are some of the pictures popping up. Like this is.
And you found a 7 in that country.
I mean, I'm just scrolling. Look at this. This will make him learn another language, guys. This is what he's.
Yeah.
Hola, adios, adios, hola.
Beautiful women there. I mean, I love the culture there. I love everything about that country. So,
he's gonna fall in love with my phone. That was, you know, these people. Those are hola, adios. That's cool.
I mean, you know, equivalent to that. She was beautiful. You know. So, all night long. That was more the shape. That reminds me a lot of the shape.
No wonder you're going.
I'd have to see the Tuchus to give you an exact critique.
Oh wow! I literally just Googled. I just Googled Dominican women, and this is just look at that Dominican women. That's wow. Okay.
Yeah. So I guess I'll book a show. If I book a show out there, I'll know who to put on it.
No, not me. I'm married with a kid.
I know. So he translated. He got her number for me. He would call her for me. I only had a few days left. He probably slept with her for me too. You know, he's a nice guy, my cousin. So then he finally, nothing happened. I never saw her again because I couldn't call her myself. I couldn't speak. I was so frustrated with that trip. I came back to New York, and then my mom always told me I should sign up for the Spanish school on the Upper West Side called El Tiguere. And it was like a conversational Spanish school, no homework, nothing. You just go in and talk about your day. And then, you know, they help you with the words and they teach you a little bit in class. You don't have to go home and do homework. Cool. Yeah, it was exactly what I needed.
Yeah, no homework and just that. I love that kind of stuff.
No homework should just be the commercial. You know?
Yeah, no homework. Yeah. Seriously.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. No homework.
Yeah, it's actually a good thing. Good name for a school.
Dude, that would be great, Jason. Like if you teach any kind of, if there's any, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that would actually be a good like a good name for a high school. No homework, and to test it out for like 5-10 years to see if their students can get better grades on the SATs and everything than a school that has homework.
Oh, I like that because this homework thing is, you know, like I said with our son, they're going to school like online and the teacher will give them like homework last minute, like Sunday night, and it's due Monday. It's like, are you kidding me? Like. This homework thing is just getting out of hand. Yeah. When we were kids, we had homework, but they really have homework now. It goes till 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah. You know? Yeah, it's crazy. I feel like I should have done that. Like, I have a great idea. No homework.
No homework. Yeah.
So I came back to New York, and I signed up for the Spanish school the day after I arrived. I went 5 days a week, 2 hours a day, for a year and 3 months. I turned down road gigs and stand up.
Wow.
Like, I didn't want to be away from that. And I did homework. When I left, I did my own homework. I read, like, I did another hour or two. And I got on this dating site that my cousin told me about, with a lot of Dominican girls go on in Dominican Republic. And I would write them and meet a ton of women and write. And I learned Spanish from what they write back, you know, and grammar-wise. And I got decent. A year and 3 months as an adult, 2 hours a day and practicing a little outside. But I'm speaking English most of the day anyway. You think it sounds like a lot of time.
Yeah.
But I broke the ice to where the barrier where I figured, okay, I'm kind of speaking a little bit now. I need to keep this up. I broke that barrier where now I speak it, but not really good. I'm still not fluent, but I'm fluent.
You sound fluent on the videos I was watching.
But when it comes down, I've done interviews in Dominican Republic at some of their big radio shows, like their Breakfast Club there and everything. And I pulled it off, you know, with the humor and everything. But I can't understand a Dominican comedian. When I'm at the comedy club there, I can't follow the jokes. Parts of them, but I always get lost. A lot of slang.
Let me ask you a question. Is there a difference in the Spanish talking to a Dominican person as opposed to like Los Angeles, West Coast, probably a Mexican person? Like is it, because here I would imagine it would be slower a little bit, like hola, me llamo Darren, y tú, adios, or whatever. Like
it's
or I don't
easier
know.
to talk to. I find Mexicans and Colombians speak the clearest in my experience. I mean, maybe Dominicans have a ton of slang. It's basically like in the United States. Like you go to Alabama or New York, there's going to be a lot of different slang and accents, like two different languages almost.
Yeah.
But if you know the basics well, you can get through both, you know?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of slang in DR, and they speak really fast. You know, like on stage, I do a joke, like a Dominican speaks so fast, like, but when they get to work, they work slow as hell, you know, like, que tú quieres. So
that's funny. Yeah.
So I learned, and then I kept going back to visit my cousin for a period of on and off 10 years. You know, I go up once, twice a year, and just love the country and the culture, and then I was doing the cruises a lot, stand up on the cruises the last 8 years. It's kind of a depressing gig for a comedian. Like if you told me I'd be doing cruises when I started comedy in 20 years, I probably wouldn't have done comedy, you know?
Yeah.
But then you get to the point, you're like, wow, I'm getting a consistent paycheck. I know how much I'm making every month. This is amazing. As opposed to the 18 years and 12 years, a good 12 years every night I was doing the black comedy circuit. Like, you know, I get by every month, but like not know where the money's coming from every day. The cruises, you just know. I could save this much this month. I was finally saving some money, you know? So we enjoyed that, but it's sad that I was happy making a middle-class living as a comedian when we get into it to be the next Eddie Murphy or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
So our goals get less and less as we get older. When I started, it was Eddie Murphy. Then maybe 5 years later, it became Damon Wayans. Then a little later, it becomes like, you know, I don't know.
We're like, can we just be like, we just want to be the next Gary Owen. Come on, something.
Yeah,
like,
just the next Gary Owens. Right now, it's like, I hope the cruises come back.
we want to feature for Gary Owen.
Right.
Open feature. Come on, Gary.
Right. Right. Now a dream gig is like me getting a Dominican novella. In DR, like one of those public access type of Spanish shows. Like, that would be amazing if I got that. So,
I'm not
even joking.
A dream gig for us. We're going to be like, we're going to teach comedy. I'm going to do the West Coast. You're going to do the East Coast. We're going to call our school No Homework. No homework. That's right.
That sounds great, actually.
Hey, have you used this app called Duolingo? You know how you can learn a language on an app? I wonder how you could probably just go through the whole app and just destroy it, man. Because I played around with it for a while. Like it would say like, you know, they'd have a picture of an apple and there'd be like like a quadrant, you know, like, and you'd have to pick which one is apple. And it would say like, how do you say apple? Is it like manzano or something?
Manzano, yeah. Manzano.
Yeah. So it'd be like manzano, and so eventually your brain goes apple, manzano. And then then you swipe manzana. And then the next page would be like pantalones. Oh, I got an idea. Here's a chance to show off your Spanish to our listeners, because
or show up how bad it is. Let's see what happens.
For those
Who
that
cares?
know,
Either way.
yeah, for those that know Spanish, they might be like, but for those of us that I know a little bit, but for those that don't know nothing, and me who know a little bit, this is very impressive. So,
and by the way,
please,
what makes my character work on, just to make this more, to make people understand exactly what's going on a little more. Real quick, I'll say it really quick. Like I got, so basically on the cruise, I decided to use my social media, and my friends were Dominican, they're comedians, and they're in Washington Heights, and I started filming skits with them. But I did a lot of different characters: hillbilly, the thug, the gay character, whatever, the Italian. But because they have,
I love the Italian character. I'm sorry, I forgot that you're Italian character when you do this. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I have a thing called the Nuts Cracker with an S. You got to look up Jason Andors, the Nuts Cracker. It never really went anywhere, but it's nicely filmed, and it was about me, a ballet mobster.
I love that.
Tights and everything.
Okay.
So because they have mostly Dominican followers, the Dominican character El Tigre Vacano I started to get followers from it. It started to take off. And then finally, when I got to like 17,000 followers, I went to Dominican Republic to test out, see if there's any fame there. And I got recognized like here and there. I was like, maybe my whole page needs to change to this. And I came back to New York. It was snowing out. I said, I got to put a video up on Instagram. So I just had my umbrella with the snow in Times Square. And I just filmed myself complaining about the snow in Spanish. Like, I hate this country. I want to go back to my country, Dominican Republic. I'm like, look, I'm like, mira esa mierda cayendo del cielo. Like, look at this. S word, bad, it's a bad word, falling from the sky, So and the video the next day, I just follows. And everyone's texting me like, yo, your video is viral through WhatsApp. Everybody's sharing, it's millions of views, but not on my page, got maybe 60,000 views, but millions overall, And all of a sudden, everyone knew who I was, like in DR from that video, but that could die off quick, those viral videos. But that got a lot more, like 20,000 more on that. And then I just started pushing it. And then I defended the country when the tourists were dying at the resort from the mini bar. It was in the news, but only like 8 people died, and they didn't even prove it's from that. Out of like 2.5 million tourists, 8 people died that year, but which were less than 25 other big tourist countries. But they got written up badly in the news. So I defended it in English with Spanish subtitles, and that video was shared by Miss Universe, Dominican Republic, everybody. So it went so viral, I got in so many TV shows in DR. That a Dominican comedian or someone would love to get on those shows. Like, when someone comes from like England or something and they're getting on Conan the next week and you're like, Jesus, you did Conan though, right?
No, I did the Tonight Show with Leno.
It's right. Tonight Show with
Leno.
Yeah, exactly. That's a great credit. So I just became, then the producer called me from Dominican's Got Talent. Like, he's like, hey, Tigre, we're all talking about you. We want you on the show to be funny with the judges. We're doing the first season of Dominican's Got Talent. It's part of the whole chain, And he's like, we want you on it. I said, well, what am I going to do? He said, I don't know. We'll think of something. He said, can you get out to Dominican Republic next week? I said, I'm here. He said, great. Whoa. Well, we were taping tomorrow too. I came in the next day. They didn't have a script ready for me. So I told them, let me pretend that I'm auditioning for the show. Just take me backstage, do interviews. I'll come on stage. We'll see what happens. We'll get some cool footage. So I came on stage. I joked with the judges. To the biggest comedian actor in DR as one of the judges, the first thing I said to him in Spanish was, how does it feel to be the second biggest comedian in Dominican Republic? Because I didn't care. I just wanted to come on, like, my character's really confident, way more confident than Jason Andors. So I'm doing all that. It's working. And then they said, what's your talent? I said, I don't know. I got a lot of talents. I got 7 girlfriends, and I'm loyal to all of them. That's my character, I got a girlfriend for every day of the week, but I'm loyal to all of them. I only stay with Monday on Monday. So I said, I could dance. You want me to dance? What do you want me to do? Bachata, merengue? You want me to break dance? I walked them into it. Like, yeah, do that. So I had them play their biggest rapper, named Lapis. And before the show, I told him that song. I said, don't you have to get it, like, approved or anything? Like, it's Dominican. We got it. It's all good.
Yeah.
So they play the song. I do my same popping stuff. I get, like, a standing O from the audience and the judges. They all give me good reviews. And they say, okay, that was great. And I walk off stage like, what just happened to the producer? He's like, I guess you got to go to round 2. I'm like, I hate contests. I said, this was supposed to be a joke. He's like, well, I got to be honest. I never warned the judges that you were pretending. You know what I mean? I kind of left it to see what would happen. So I ended up getting to the second round, and I did it. I did a poem, like a comedy poem that was serious about the country and funny, and I did great. I was so proud of myself that I remembered the words. I was worried about forgetting the poem. and it went great. And everyone backstage thought I definitely made the semifinals, but they cut me that night. But I think because the last thing they wanted was the first season of Dominican's Got Talent was a Jew from New York to have a chance at winning it. And I don't blame them. You know what I mean? I didn't want to win it, to be honest. I wanted to get to the semifinals because it would have been more exposure. But I knew if I won it, I had to give all the money to charity, period.
Yeah.
So
it all started because he was horny.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's hilarious.
Okay, I got to ask you.
Okay,
so I know you as Jason Andors, but okay, you got to slow it down. Tell us your nickname in the DR. It's El Tigua. I don't even know how to say that name.
It's El Tigre.
El Tigre.
Like tiger. Tiger is usually Tigre, tigre. But El Tigre Vacano. It kind of means like a street smart player.
Oh, I like that. El Tigre Vacano.
Yeah, El Tigre Vacano. Yeah. That's
cool.
the name. My friend Tommy Pena, comedian, gave me the name. We were thinking of a name. It's been said before, like in DR, it's kind of a saying. Tigre is said a lot. Vacano is used in Colombia too, I think, a lot. But Tigre Vacano, people call that, but I was shocked when I looked it up and like I was able to trademark it and everything, So
that's cool. Can you give us a little Spanish? I would love to hear this. I'd love to show our listeners and viewers a little.
Well, yo no sé qué quieres que yo digo, amigo. Tú eres mi amigo, le he conocido Darren por muchos años, desde hace 20 años más o menos, le conocí en BET Comic View.
Oh, I think I know what you're saying. What do you want me to say? You're my friend. I know him from BET's Comic View, many years.
Más o menos, sí, de verdad.
Más o menos.
Sí, pero no le he visto desde hace, no sé, 10, 15 años. ¿Cuándo fue la última vez que te vi?
Oh, you're losing me. You're losing me. It's getting hard. Like, how long have I lived in Los Angeles? 15 years, 20 years?
When was the last time I saw you?
Oh my gosh.
It's such a weird thing to show off my bad Spanish. The thing about the character is,
yeah.
You're like, it's one thing to show off that you can bench press 500 pounds.
Exactly.
You can do a double backflip. Show the people your amazing talent at speaking horrible Spanish.
Yeah. Hola. Yeah. Wait.
Darren, show me those 50 push-ups you're working on.
Exactly. Wait, here you are. I think you're speaking Spanish here, right? In this video?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. All right, you guys you got to check that out. But yeah.
That was at the La Plaza de la Bandera, like where the flag is in Dominican Republic. That was February 27th. Yeah. Huge protests that the Dominicans had due to the voting and the government, the corruption and everything. And I went to the protests in New York and Washington Heights. I filmed it all. And I showed up 3 days later to Dominican Republic to that protest with the Dominican flag around my shoulder, a crew of like tenders walking down the streets. And, a lot of people know me in Dominican Republic. So it was like, It was almost like they weren't surprised I was there.
That's cool.
Tiguere Vacano supporting. So that was right in front at the biggest protest. And I had everyone set up. And I said, we're, República Dominicana, Dominican Republic. And everyone cheered. It was really a cool experience. So I have a lot of footage. I'm going to work on a documentary. That's my main goal.
That's awesome, man. I think the last time that we saw each other, it was at the Comedy Store. Was it a couple of years ago, maybe? Was it
at the Comedy Store? I have a weird memory of you standing in the crowd when I was performing at an Adam Hunter show, too.
Yeah, there was that. And then I think, was there a picture with me, you, and Godfrey in front of the Comedy Store? And Brett Ernst? Brett Ernst? I don't know.
Remember that picture. Is there? Send me it if you have it.
If I get that, that'll be that might have been because it popped up in one of my those memories that you get online and stuff. But
yeah.
So I got to ask.
I remember bumping into Godfrey at the Comedy Store. You said was it
Comedy Store? It was in front of the store, like on the sidewalk there on Sunset Boulevard.
That's possible.
Let me ask you. So, where are you now? Are you in New York City? Is that where you're living now?
Yeah.
Dude, I could only imagine because I'm LA, but I've been able to. My wife and son, we're up north a little bit, like 3 hours from here. Then we come back and forth to LA. Like we have like an escape to go to. Like what's it like?
So where are you guys?
Well, right now I'm in Burbank, but I grew up in Fresno, and my wife grew up on a farm near Fresno.
That's where popping started. Fresno, you know that, right?
Did it really?
I'm pretty sure that's the. It started in California. It was called Boogaloo. They changed it to Electric Boogie in New York.
Wow.
But it started in California. And
these are my best moves.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's the move I always do.
Is it? This is me. I mean, I learned this stuff in the 80s, and then it just pretty much remember that pop locking that.
Yeah. No, it's not
what was
bad,
that king tut stuff or the tutting and all that.
Tut,
or whatever like that. Oh my! Yeah. It's weird. My nose is itching. It's not part of the
hand waves. The hand waves were good.
Like Hey, welcome to my pop locking class. No homework.
What would be really funny is you brought me on the podcast and like you pop better than me on the other line, and then you speak better Spanish than me, and you just brought me on to show me you're better than me.
I know. I'm like, yo, we're gonna take down this fool. All right.
And then you went like this, and you said, "Actually, this is not my real head," and you pulled it off, and you had a head of hair than me too.
Better lighting, better hair. You just got roasted, bro.
And then you close the whole thing with a nicer light than me. Like you go like this.
Exactly.
And then you turn it off. You turn the screen off.
And I'm like, hey, Gary.
It's actually a real candle. It's not like a fake light.
I'm like, hey, Gary, get over here. Me and Gary are co-headlining now. And like,
yeah.
We're going to roast other white guys.
What about this deal I just signed?
Exactly.
My movie deal with Steven Spielberg.
Look at my 10-page contract of legal paper. It's just like... Oh, I was.
New York. You asked what New York's like. I don't know. I don't really go outside. Let me peek out the window right now. Let me see.
I mean, whenever I hear like a New York comedian, like on a podcast or something, it sounds kind of like tough, man. Like LA, like there's just nothing going on. And I guess they tried doing shows at the Cellar, like the Olive Tree or something. I think it's called the Olive Tree Cafe, and 25 people
doing
maybe.
Some outdoor shows. I did like 5 shows in the last 6 months. Let's just put that way.
Yeah, me too.
Which is painful when you're used to doing 30 to 40 a month, you know?
I know. Cause like you said, the muscle memory, it's like, you're like, oh, I do this joke. And then you make
so you
riff
surprise
and go
yourself.
on.
If you look over your jokes in your house for an hour or two, you just get them in your head. Once you get that laugh, it's like, it's not hard. You know what I mean? But there's still that flow and that confidence you don't have. They're all outside show. One was on a roof, 4 were outside in Times Square in front of 6 people. I'm doing one Saturday. It's supposed to be in like a parking lot in Queens with people in their cars, like beeping when they laugh.
Oh, I did. Yeah, I did one of those. It's like, I said something like, cause ours were like, there was a few people outside of their car and then the rest were in their car. And I said, it was like performing for like the Transformers, like I'm Autobots, it's like they're part human, part car.
Yeah. That's funny.
It's actually not that bad at first, I'm sorry. It's not that bad. The whole car thing. At first it was like the first minute I was like, this is weird because people are honking their horns and stuff. But then you realize, they're honking their horns to kind of show approval. Like it's and then
what's a boo? Is a boo a longer honk? Like it's like a laugh, like it's laugh like honk, 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 honk. Is a boo like?
No, a boo is when they put it in reverse and spin bird rubber out. And they just leave.
Yeah.
You know how you sell merch and then people walk by you? Imagine selling merch at a parking lot show. They're just like, gentlemen, start your engines. You guys, come back.
Well, you have like a drive-through merch. You know what I mean? Like you stand inside like a McDonald's window and you sell your shirts.
Oh, yeah. Then your wife takes the money at the second window. Just like,
yeah. And then so you get an argument with someone because you don't get any extra ketchup with your shirt.
Yeah. Hey, I didn't prep you for this. Like I usually prep people and, you give me your honest reactions. Usually I prep people and go, hey, I'm going to ask you 5 questions about happiness. But anyways, do you want to do this? Can I ask you some questions about happiness?
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
You're like, because I asked one guy that and I forgot to ask him that. And he goes,
I said the word happiness and it took me a second to remember what that meant.
Exactly.
Happiness.
Yeah, you're like in New York with this weird lighting. You're like, yeah, I'm real happy, Darren.
I literally went to my dictionary, like on my computer. I was like, looked down, like, happiness.
Oh yeah. How do you say happiness in Spanish?
Well,
this is getting weird.
Alegría. No, alegría.
No. I know Triste is cry, right? Triste is cry.
Triste is sad.
Triste. Damn it.
Llorar is cry.
Ooh, that's next level Spanish, man. I don't even know that one.
Llorar is cry. Triste, siento triste. I feel sad. Siento alegre, I feel happy. Alegría is happiness.
Oh, I got one before we do the 5 questions. Can you?
I'm so proud I remember the meanings because I was like, earlier, you're like, show off your Spanish, man. Show off how amazing you are. Jason enters Spanish competitions all around the world.
Años, hola, adios, nuevo.
What makes my character work is the fact that my accent isn't great. I'm never good at accents. And my Spanish is a little off. Like I speak it. I could be funny with it. I had a relationship with the girl that didn't speak English. But
wow,
what was that actress's name? She had the really big breasts and like she was like Jaja. Was it Jaja Gabor?
Dolly Parton. Oh, Pamela Anderson.
She was Spanish, but she had a real like Latin
Oh,
accent.
yeah. Cuchi. That girl.
Yeah.
When we were kids growing up.
Gabor, or am I
no,
wrong?
Her name is hold on. Famous actress, Latin bombshell, Cuchi. Charo. Her name's Charo.
Oh, okay.
Was it Charo?
Maybe.
According to famous birth stats.
Yeah, Charo.
Charo net worth, height, age. Charo is a...
Maybe not. Charo from the 70s?
Maybe.
Oh, no. I know. You mean from, she's on Modern Family.
Who is Zsa Zsa Gabor? Who was that?
Zsa Zsa Gabor was, I think, Green Acres. Green Acres is the place.
Oh, okay.
That might have been
like
Ava.
Totally.
That might have been Ava Gabor. What's that girl's name? Sexy Latin actress on Modern Family. Her name is Sofia Vergara.
According to Refinery 29.
Well, similar situation to that, but the other one was, not as cute as her, kind of, and just really like stereotypical.
Oh, was she in? Hey, Mookie. What was her name? Rosie Perez.
Wasn't Rosie Perez? No, a lot older than her. That whole vibe. Anyway, the point is it works because
you guys leave it in the comments below.
The things I say as a character are like, because I also have friends in Dominican Republic that roll with me and they give me a lot of advice. So I'll say the most underground slang as a character with my total gringo, my total white boy New York accent. And they're like, is he from there? Like people have actually questioned it. And I film a lot of my videos in the worst neighborhoods, like the most dangerous neighborhoods in Dominican Republic. I go with like real street dudes and I film in the worst. People like Dominicans always comment like, I've lived here my whole life. I would never enter that area. And I just go there and film videos, and that really helped. That really.
How does it feel? Does it feel safe when you're there, like, or is it because you have your friends with you, so you feel a little bit better?
I definitely feel better going with them. He usually calls someone that kind of runs stuff in each neighborhood. So, but it's still.
Hey, we're gonna be filming sketches. It's like
pretty much. I mean, if you're willing to help out with a few pesos, a few dollars here and there.
Yeah.
They have your back, and people are happy to see me there filming. Like it's kind of nice to see that. And my character is 100%. Like the thing about my character is there's no one that loves Dominican Republic more than my character. There's no negativity with Dominican Republic, my character. I'm not making fun of the country. I'm doing it in a playful way of showing my love for the country, because I truly love it. It happened organically. I went there for 10 years before the character came. I never thought for a second my connections in the Latin community would have anything to do with my career. That was just my hobby.
You know what, man? I'm not really a thrill seeker, like as far as going into those, like a neighborhood that what you just said, when people are like, I would never go there. I've lived there my whole life. I remember doing shows in quote, dangerous neighborhoods and getting tips from friends. And when one year we filmed something in Atlanta and we had to walk back to the hotel from the restaurant or whatever. And it was real seedy. And this guy was street smart guys are giving me advice. They're like, yo, what you got to do is put one hand under your shirt when you're walking so people don't know if you have a weapon or not. And I think I'm at a stage of my life now. I don't want to do these tricks anymore. I'm like, let me just get in my 4-door Honda and go from the gig to my home. I'm not trying to, get my heart rate up.
Yeah, I hear you. Because we both did the circuit a lot where, but
I remember one time,
go on.
I was gonna say one time I did a gig with Katt Williams in Miami or near Miami. And after the show it was Bruce, Katt Williams, Coco Brown. And after the show, it was great. We had, the school provided each of us a limo for the whole night. So I ended up hanging out with Katt and we went to some club and he had at the time he had a bodyguard. I forget, it was a light skinned black guy with blue cowboy boots and blue contact lenses. He really stood out. And he goes, and that bodyguard guy was like giving me some street smarts. He goes, hey, if anything pops off in the club, he goes, just put your back against the wall and let chaos happen around you. And I was like, yeah, that's a good idea. But looking back, I'm like, I just don't even want to be in those places where there's could be some chaos.
Yeah,
you know,
I've been
like,
in so many of those situations doing the roofs. It was crazy. Some of the stories. There's so many of them, you know. Would Katt remember you now? You hung out with him all night.
Yes, very friendly. Oh yeah, because I would run into him every now and then. And
see, in LA, you see him.
And I'd be like, Katt, I love your comedy, man. You're doing, you know, whatever, blah, blah. He'd be like, Mr. Carter, and how are you? As am I, you know.
Yeah, he's hilarious.
Like, I'm a big fan, as am I. And the last time I saw him, he offered me either a tour with him or I think it was like a movie he was doing with Lionsgate. And long story short, I had to go on stage, and then when I got, and then it was a crazy night. Like the cops had shut down Sunset, and somebody was waving a gun around or something, and it was a crazy night. And I'm on stage, and there's the siren behind me, and the lights, and I get off. I go, what happened? They go, somebody had a gun. They called the cops, and they're looking for him, and turns out it was Katt Williams, supposedly. So, yeah.
I was about to joke about that. I'm like, you know what? I don't want to shout him out and give some false rumor. And then you come up with that's what it was.
Well, that's what they – the next day they were like, Katt Williams, supposedly. But who knows? I don't know. But every time
hearing that story, yeah.
Every time I see him, he was always friendly and cool. And Mr. Carter and just very respectful.
For him once, but then I saw him a couple years later. It didn't seem like he remembered, because he opened for someone and then years later – I did a show with him in Newark Symphony. It was an amazing show. I was hoping to get on that tour from that show. But I think my friend Richie Redding was already on it, technically. I couldn't have asked for a better set. Like, it was one of those, like, juicy, beginning to end 25 minutes of never having a pause with 3,000, And his 3,000 was small for him. And afterwards, I go, he's generous. I go to backstage to thank him,
Yeah.
Thanks. He's like, yo, you did your thing. I appreciate you, man. And then he reached in a duffel bag of money.
Wow.
Right? And he just reached out and handed me some money. And it felt like, I felt like 5 bills, I'm like, oh, okay. He gave me like $100, So I go outside and it's $600. He tipped me $600, just like a handful of it. And I gave my friend Jay, who was on the show, Crazy Jay from Jersey. I don't know if you know him. He's the funniest guy on the planet to me. But he, I was like, here, bro. I gave him $100. Like, here's a piece of my tip. I want you to feel it a little bit. I'm not giving you half of it, but here's a piece. But no one would do that. And who would do that? Who would give $100 at a tip?
I know.
That's nice enough. I'm not giving you half.
That's cool, man. That's really cool. Okay, let's go back to the thing of happiness before we wrap up. Okay.
All right. Happiness.
So, what is the last thing that you ate that made you happy? Something that you were like, man, I haven't had this in a while, or this is so good.
The last thing I ate that made me happy. Well, I would say the dark chocolate covered goji berries that I ate tonight, but didn't really make me happy. I got like a headache and I took an hour nap at like 9 p.m. before we spoke. And I said, let me take a nap before this podcast. And then I remembered I had to do my laundry. So that didn't make me happy. Let me take that off. The last thing I remember really making me happy, I went down and eat this pizza, John's Pizza, a couple of weeks ago on Bleecker Street. It's a famous pizzeria. And I thought it sucked. Hold on. Sorry. I reminded myself about my. Did you hear that right now?
Some kind of buzz or something.
Okay. So I went down 30 years ago. No, maybe like 24 years ago. So I started comedy. Like maybe 24. No,
I had a meal 30 years ago. It was
horrible. It was horrible.
Yeah.
Like I didn't like John's. I consider myself like an annoying pizza connoisseur. But then I went a couple weeks ago with my brother, and I was shocked at how amazing it tasted. I was like, wow, I might put this in my top 3. And then my brother went a few days later without me, and he called me. He's like, it's disgusting. Like, I don't know what happened. The second time I went, it was horrible. I'm like, well, you were stoned the first time. He's like, that could have something to do with it. But yeah. I don't even want pizza now. So I'm like, now I need to go again. But that was the last meal that made me happy.
Yeah. What is next question? What is something that you've recently figured out? Like there was something like an obstacle or a puzzle or something that bothered you and you were like, and then you just thought about it and maybe let some rest and then boom, I figured it out. I know how to do this now, or I figured this problem out in my life.
That's a good question. Good timing for that question, because I didn't figure it out myself. But a comedian, I think it's actually, you know, Kareem Green?
I don't know Kareem Green, but shout
Kareem
out to
told me this
Kareem.
on the phone. I think he said it to me on the phone. 2 comics. One, John Moses. I don't know if you know him. He said, you got to write a book. And I've always wanted to kind of write a book just with my crazy New York stories and mixed with everything, bombs and just the crazy stuff happening in New York, getting jumped and whatever, making them funny, you know? Just a whole book of those type of stories. But he'd said that. But then Kareem said to me that you got to just, everything you work on, because we're not making money in anything we do, it's easy to get discouraged and just quit. Like, this is never going to sell anyway, this movie. Or this is never, or you're like, I just want this to be perfect. I could finish this in 2-3 years, whenever. It'll get done one day. You'll never get it done that way. You got to look at everything you're doing like you were hired to do it, and they gave you a deadline. You know? Like, you need to finish that book in 4 months. Like, we paid you for that, and we need it in 4 months. And to me, that has really helped me at least the last week. The difference, you know, in the amount of work I've put in.
You know, I read a quote that really helped me put out one of my albums, and it said, without a deadline, a goal is just a wish or a dream.
Yeah.
You know, so with a deadline, you're like, yep, that's the deadline. That's why I put these podcasts out. I tell myself I'm going to do it, and then I do it. I don't.
Yeah, I want to do it. Yeah. A deadline cuts off laziness.
Yeah, because it's very easy what you said to be like, oh, this ain't gonna. The guy, your inner critique, you'll critique yourself that, you know, you'll never do it. You'll be like, no one's gonna watch, no one's gonna read, no one, you know, and that's
exactly, because a big percentage of our job is not making money. A lot of the time, it's creating to make money, to hope to make one day.
Yeah.
So what's the worst that's gonna happen? I'll have a book they sell at shows, it never really goes anywhere. But I have a ton of stories I worked hard on that are funny. So it's material.
Yeah, and
nothing
then you'll
bad's gonna happen out of it.
Yeah, and then you'll have another book, and then you can, even the book that you write, you'll be able to do like an audio version, so you'll have 2 streams of income, and you know.
People are so scared of COVID now. Like, every time you cough, I move, and then I realize we're on the
Through
phone.
a screen.
You know?
I know. It's not, you know what it is? It's like this nervous, I get this, not this nervous thing, but like this thing where I want to go, clear my throat, which is weird.
Yeah. You ever get that when you're bombing on stage and your voice gets your mouth gets super dry and your brain stops working? You're like, why is my mouth dry? Because I'm bombing. Why does everything have to get worse?
I know. It's sweating, bombing, like just.
Well, like when you're ripping, it's a good sweat. It's like you're warm. You don't even need water. Your mouth is just lubricated with saliva. You're good.
Yeah.
You know? But once you start bombing, it's
Can I get some water up here, waitress? Yeah. Okay, here's the next question about happiness. What is something that you've either discovered or rediscovered that's made you happy? Discovered or rediscovered?
Discovered or rediscovered that made me happy.
I can also give a.
Let me take your example. Yeah.
Okay, my example would be, believe it or not, Rocky and Bullwinkle. I've been watching Rocky and Bullwinkle on YouTube, and I'm like, this is awesome, man. I love these cartoons. The music, the narration, you know, the cracked fairy tales. I love all that stuff. Jay Ward was the producer. I love that stuff, and I've been going down the rabbit hole, listening to the voice actors, you know, at the time, who voiced those cartoon characters, and so I've rediscovered Rocky and Bullwinkle.
I don't know, actually. I can't even answer that. I don't know what I've rediscovered. Maybe it'll pop up before the end of this podcast.
Yeah, or discover.
I'm trying to think, like.
Is there an app that maybe you've discovered, like an app for your phone or something like that? Or maybe discovered like a way to make money or a way to do something on the internet.
I'm trying to discover that. I'm trying to discover a way to make money. I want to do the podcast. I want to do.
Do you do Patreon?
No,
do you do Patreon?
I haven't done Patreon.
I haven't started mine yet, but
I don't even know how it works exactly. I need to do it. I know someone explained it to me. It just sounded like, okay, I should do it. But a lot of my followers are Dominican, Spanish. A lot of them, you know, don't have a lot of money to pay either for that. And then I don't really do my stand-up in Spanish. I'm learning it in Spanish. I did 20 minutes last time I was in DR. Like,
I mean, what you're doing is groundbreaking, because it's like, I know you're saying there are some obstacles, but at the same time, I mean, like there's there's a guy named comedian Bob Marley who just rules Maine, Maine, the state of Maine. Like he
I've
just
heard
tours
of him.
Maine, and he just does corporate gigs, and at Christmas time, like his merch is in the malls all over Maine. Like that guy just blows up Maine. Like, so to be to be able to be one of the guys in a region, that's amazing.
I'm the only one doing what I do really there, and like when we were doing the black comedy circuit, there was really only a few of us, like would get called, like in New York scene.
Yeah.
Like 3 or 4 of us. I mean, look, Rich Voss and DC Benny and them. Rich Voss is like the first white guy to do Def Jam, right? But he was doing a lot of the mainstream. He was really in the clubs, so he wasn't really doing he would do them here and there. I was living in the circuit then, so most of the time in New York, I guess, at that time, I'm trying to think, A.G. White, of course, me, and I'm trying to think of who else at that time was really called often to do the black rooms in New York. I mean, LA, I think of you, I think of like Nima, I think of Ray Lapowski, and they both came in a little later than us, Ray came in the latest, I think, but Ray did great. Like Ray started to fucking, excuse me, I'm not supposed to curse here.
That's all right. Yeah.
Darren made sure that I'd be nice and clean on this, and I've been doing very well.
Yes, I'm enjoying it. I enjoy it. Like, it's funny when I tell people, I go, just try to keep it family friendly, just so we don't get flagged.
No, it's easy to be. You can still be funny, without that. I think it's going to be it's going to be anything goes, but
yeah, there's probably, and that's probably, there's no rules.
That's more my personality than you. You're more of a clean, safe. Yeah, because
I would be like borderline. Like I'd be like, "Hey, rookie," and then I would like say a curse word. And I'm like, "What the hell am I doing?" Like, I just curse my way out of it.
It makes sense. It would be weird if people were cursing on your podcast. You know what I mean?
All super dirty. Like, tell us your craziest sexual experience with detail. And then people are like, what the hell? Like, anyways.
One thing I definitely discovered, though, I didn't get along with my mom most of my life. I always say, I hate you, Mom, or whatever. It was like a bad relationship. I discovered how much I love my mom, like how she's the best mom ever. And the reason we didn't get along, that's fine. But I think a good parent is someone that proves that they'll do anything for you, whether you get along with them or not. That's just personality differences. It's that love of they will do anything for you. And that's my mom. And that's something I discovered. Isn't that beautiful?
That's cool. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I might even put that at the front of the episode, and your mom would like to hear that. You just high five your mom? What the hell was that?
No. That was my alarm. And I'm scared to try to turn it off because I'm going to cut off the, it's a snooze on the alarm for the laundry, but I'm good. It's in my building. I'm going to edit that,
put that in front of the podcast. And you're like, high five, Mom. I was like, what the hell is he doing?
No, every 6 minutes now. But it's all good. Okay. So, yeah, I'd say, I guess that's, I've always known I love my mom. But, it took time to really hit, as in like what an amazing mom she's been,
that's great, man. That's great.
Yeah.
Okay. Last thing. What is something
my dad's a good dad too. I'm just saying dads are dads.
Yeah.
I love my dad, but my mom has been
high five to dad.
Yeah.
What is the last what's something that you've recently bought that made you happy? Something that you bought.
Something that I bought that made me happy. I have to be honest. These last 6 months, I haven't bought I'm
keep it clean, family friendly.
No.
Just...
if it was that, I don't think it would have made me happy. I think it'd be miserable.
I know.
Wow, because I'm not. I'm eating at home more.
These are like the worst questions for a pandemic. Yeah. Who's somebody you've recently?
What was the best party you went to recently?
Exactly. Hi, my podcast is called Tone Deaf. I call this guy's tone deaf like a mother.
What was your favorite job you had recently within the last 3 weeks?
What's it like to crush? What's it like when you have that audience in the palm of your hand? You're like, I don't know. Like, back in February? No.
The last thing I bought, I swear, I can't think of anything. I can't. I'm so glad I thought about the love about my mom. Like that was.
I know that was a number one answer. That was an awesome ansce.
Let's see. Did I buy her anything? No, I haven't. I should. I wish I did.
Yeah. What was that thing you said? It sounded kind of fancy when I go, what's that? What's the thing you've eaten or whatever that made you happy? And you said dark chocolate covered.
Dark chocolate goji berries. It's like $10 at Whole Foods.
And you're like, but they didn't make me happy.
Whole Foods open 2 blocks away from me. That made me happy.
The
Whole Foods?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a Whole Foods too. Like the last happy thing I bought? Wow.
All right, I'm gonna go.
I was happy when I ran out of masks and I went to the local pharmacy and they actually had one last pack of masks left. That was a happy purchase.
Oh yeah. See, I got like these masks. By the way, I'm not into wearing the mask. I mean, I wear it because I have to. I'm not one of these guys that's like, I'm gonna wear it when I'm driving by myself. No, I pop it in. I go in and do my business. I got these. I think we got these on Amazon. They're like.
Yeah, that's the black version of. I got the blue ones.
Yeah, you can breathe pretty easy on these. Like they.
Well, you can breathe easy because there's probably a ton of little holes in it that lets the virus get in. I don't think those things protect you from anything.
I know. And then if you fold it like this, it kind of pokes away from your face, and it's like I don't know
those
what.
Masks do anything for coronavirus.
I don't think so. I know.
I have an I-95 mask here, and I remember when my friend who has cystic fibrosis, so he bought a bunch of them. And he bought them for $60 for 60 before coronavirus hit. Like, I don't know, he bought them in like January. He's like, yo, these masks are great. I wear them on the plane. The N95 or whatever they are. He's like, I'll give you 3 of them. They're only $1 each. I'll give you 3. So I got 3 of them. I love them because they don't even go around the ear. They go around your head.
Oh,
so comfortable. And I'm like, then Corona happened. I went to Dominican Republic, came back. I was there on like the first Italian arrived in DR with coronavirus. They're like, Italian arrived spreading coronavirus. And people are like, yo, you should get back to New York, bro. I said, no. New York's worse right now. I said, I'm going to enjoy my next 2 weeks here because it's not going to spread that bad in the next 2 weeks I'm here.
Yeah.
So let me enjoy it. And then I looked on Amazon right when I got back. I wanted to buy a bunch of them, and they were $37.50 each. Like they went from $1 to 37.
I know. So, I was wearing the whole bandana thing for a while, and then I don't know. The masks are cool. I mean, the bandana I thought was good because I can go up and down, but I'm like. Fortunately, I'm just like I said. I pop it on. I go into the store, or whatever. Then I just, But we're not as crowded, here as I would imagine New York is. New York has got to be kind of.
I bought one of those things you clean the toilet with. What are they called? The
the scrubber or something.
I bought a nice new scrubber. I just put it in. Gave me a little grin on my face. A little smile.
That's right. You have some company over, looking like you have a maid. Oh, that looks good.
I know. I felt playerish. Like I almost like I had company recently, and I almost was like expecting her to come out of the bathroom and compliment it.
like wow. By the way, I went to a buddy's apartment once, and about a year ago, and. I was like,
what a bunch of new of these shirts, these Tiguere Vacano shirts.
Oh yeah, cool. Show the merch. That's
Tiguere
cool.
Vacano.
Oh, that's cool.
Tiguere Vacano colors of Dominican Republic. My brother did the logo. Nick Andors. Check out his art. He got a great graphic novel coming out soon.
No, I was gonna say I have a buddy. When you said the thing about the bathroom, it reminded me of my buddy. He's in his 50s. He should know better. He goes, yeah, go ahead and use the restroom. And I'm looking for like the $2, like where you could pump the soap, on your hands. Yeah. And I go, where's your soap? And I looked, and it was just a dish soap full of like 7 or 8 little slivers of bath soap that he used to throw away. And I go, dude, if you want to get a girlfriend or something, you cannot, this is disgusting. And
it's so disgusting.
Yeah. I bought him a
that
bottle
and
of
like stains in your toilet. Like same. It's it's kind of equal.
Exactly.
A bar of soap is so 80s. If you still have a bar of soap in your house, you
disgusting. He had like 7 little bars of soap.
And 7.
They were like
you didn't clean 6 of them. You finished, but you didn't get rid of the little one you don't use anymore. You just left them there.
He piled them on top of each other. He goes, "Why? They're for my bath soap. I don't want to throw them away. I can still wash my hand." I'm like, they're picturing gross stuff with those soaps. Like, don't.
Yeah, that is really. Yeah, that's disgusting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I feel like my nose is running right now. Can you
I
see my
know.
nose running, or you can't notice it?
No, but you know what though? It's like monkey see, monkey do. Because now my nose is running. This has gone from podcast to therapy. We're like, yeah, this is what's come down to, guys.
We're like, ew, he has pieces of bars of soap in his tray. That's so disgusting. What a gross human being. That was my excuse. That was my excuse of doing the joke, making fun of it, while disgustingly seeing if my nose is running.
I know.
Now my mouth feels dry.
Yeah, I know. We're like, these guys doing cocaine 3,000 miles from each other. Like, hey, man.
You gotta wipe your nose like this. You gotta do a little like.
Yeah. I have water. You have a candle. You're like, guys, I think we're gonna wrap up this.
That's how cheap. That's how cheap my candle is. Your water looked lighter than my candle when you lifted it up.
I know.
That cup gave your room more light than this.
It does actually. Look. Woo! Look at that.
This doesn't change anything. Look at this garbage.
It's like I'm torturing people. I'm calling people up, like New York comedians. I'm like, what's the last thing you bought? What's the last thing you ate? You're like, dude, I have no power. This is like, my lights are coming off. Like,
what's your love life? I'm like, I haven't had a girlfriend in 6 months. Anything? What's the next question?
Usually I end the show and you could either pass on this or whatever. I usually go, hey, give us some words of wisdom. And usually people
I got my GED. What kind of words of wisdom do you want?
I know. Tell us the secret to life. What is it, Jason? You're like, words of wisdom.
The secret to life. Oh my God. Oh, there's my alarm. That's the secret to life. That's the secret to life. To have an alarm on snooze when you have no schedule.
Yeah.
I have nothing going on except laundry, and my alarms rang 3 times to remind me.
It seems like you're busy. Like every 6 minutes, the alarms go on. I got laundry. I got toilets to clean. I got lights to unplug and plug in again.
Some words of advice.
Do New Yorkers use back scratchers? I don't know. Is this a West Coast thing?
That's a can't afford a massage thing. That's what that is.
Exactly. Yeah. With COVID, hey, stay 6 feet away. All right. Hey, you get over there. No.
I should get one of those. That actually looks good.
Yeah.
Because I always get an itch right where I can't reach.
How creepy would that be, though? You thought the toilet scratcher was cool. You ask a girl, hey, come on in.
What would be creepy as hell is if that was also a toilet scratcher.
Who said it's not?
It does both. You turn it around this way, you clean the toilet with the sponge. This way, it's on your back. It's like a double-sided.
Hey, honey, it's a new invention.
For $19.99.
Jason, you're awesome, man. Thanks for hanging with us. Any last parting words you'd like to say?
I don't know. I'm kind of scared to leave this podcast because it feels like I'm doing something with my life. And once we press off, I'm just going to be folding laundry. And I think I might go back and watch Kingdom, this horrible show on Netflix that I'm addicted to.
There you go.
MMA show.
Oh, you discovered Kingdom. So we'll have to look into Kingdom.
I can't. It was like discovering. I don't know what it was like discovering. Like discovering a pretty, like, you love pizza, but you discover a bad pizza shop in your neighborhood.
Oh yeah.
You're annoyed every time you're eating it. Like, this is not good for my health. That's what I discovered with this show. I'm not learning how to write from watching this. You know what I mean? I'm not. I don't know if that was sweat or snot. I know.
I'm laughing because I'm kind of fooling myself when I'm listening to when I'm watching Bullwinkle and listening to these interviews. I'm like, I'm in my mind. I'm like, I know I'm being entertained and I know it's taking me back to my happy place of childhood. But I'm like, somewhere in there, I'm learning how to do voices and maybe I'll create my own cartoon. But who knows? Maybe I was
working on a cartoon. My friend Justin Bua. I don't know if you know his art. Bua, B-U-A. He does a lot of urban jazz musicians. Mm-hmm. He's like my best friend. So we've done a lot of projects together, but we have a cartoon idea where it's supposed to finish it up and pitch it. It's really good. I love it, but we need.
What your buddy Kareem said, man. Get those deadlines and make yourself do it.
Yeah, it's funny because we're writing something together that we haven't worked on together for like 3 weeks. It was great advice by him, but we should use it for the project we're actually working on together.
Yeah. All right,
Kareem
buddy.
won the Bay Area Black Comedy Competition when I came in 4th that year. He won that year.
That's cool. I hate contests, man. I'm like,
Hate 'em.
you know.
Hate 'em. Yeah. I was so angry at that contest because they had 1st through 6th place, and 1 through 3 got this big see-through plaque, and 4 through 6 got this little wood plaque. I remember throwing the plaque on the wall. Like, I really felt like I should have had at least 3rd, you know?
Yeah. Like, come on, man. You know, but all right, Jason. Well, thank you so much for coming on. And man, I love the stories. And you guys give him a follow. Check out what he's doing, and you'll get a kick out of it.
El Tigre Vacano on all social media. Jason, I don't even like Jason Andors anymore. Like Tigre Vacano. I go to Dominican Republic. Everyone knows me. I go back to New York. It's like just a sad return, you know?
Yeah.
The spelling, I guess you'll put it on the podcast.
Cool.
That's where.
All right, buddy. Cool. Thank you. Thank you so much. You got it.
We're done with this interview.